It's time for yet another episode of Avnir Presents Beyond the Boundary. And I have with me someone who loves wicket keeping, loves talking, and sure loves her coffee machine, Katey Martin. Hi Katey, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure. Let me first know about your experiences in a bio bubble. You were in one for the Australia series. What was it like?
Yeah, it was a little bit different. We flew over from New Zealand with all our face masks and PPE gear and got shuttled through a very quiet airport. We went through all the procedures with having gloves on and just making sure that we were safe. We're only allowed to handle our own bags. We were very well looked after at the hotel we were in. So we were up and down the back of the service lift. So that was a bit of a different experience for us. And we spent a couple of weeks in isolation, spent a lot of time on our floor. I brought my coffee machine over, so that sort of got the team through a wee bit, which was quite handy. So look, we're very lucky to be over here playing, and it was a good experience, better than I thought it was going to be.
We know your coffee machine tales and who got coffee daily, but there was even one other aspect that we saw during your practice was you sharing tips with Natalie Dodd, a youngster. So how was it working with her, one? And what is the particular thing that you could gain from her as well?
Yeah, it's been brilliant to have another keeper on tour. Usually there's only one keeper selected and not often a keeping coach. So you have to be a little bit self-sufficient. Look, Dottie was a real sponge. She loved chatting. I love chatting anyway, as most people know. And we were just able to give each other a few tips. I've made a few changes to my technique standing back. So she was able to sort of help me with some of those areas, just asking questions and looking at some of the technique. And, you know, with wicket keeping, it sort of changed a wee bit where, as you know, with MS Dhoni, he's so fast to get those bails off. And for us in women's cricket as well, the second a foot slid out, you want to try and take those bails off quick. So, and with TV replays, and now you get that, you know, those really close decisions can go upstairs. So a lot of the work we did was a bit more around less given the ball and more sort of catch and take the bails. So hopefully Dottie and I'll both have a few MS Dhoni type stumpings over the coming summer.
It's wonderful how you get to learn from various people. And one of the other things that's wonderful is your batting over the last 2 years. Numbers sometimes tell a story, and they tell us that your batting average, especially in T20s, has almost doubled in the last 2 years. So how did you go about reinventing your batting, and what was one of the main reasons behind that?
Yeah, I think probably when I was a little bit younger, I played with a bit of fear. So I was sort of a bit scared to get out. So you don't express yourself or play the shots that you're probably used to. And we're seeing so many youngsters come through now, like Mealy Kerr's just got all the shots under the sun. So, you know, with T20 cricket, it means you have to take a few more risks. And I've really enjoyed the T20 game over the last couple of years. I've been able to play it a bit more at international level. And it's just that belief that, you know, your options are there. And I think sometimes if you throw caution to the wind a wee bit, which I probably didn't do when I was a little bit younger, you sort of reap some of those rewards. So, yeah, it's probably just having a bit more belief. And with having that extra fielder up, I think that sort of helps as well with a few extra gaps in the field. So I sort of pride myself on being able to play all around the park, and trying to play down the ground a little bit more now is sort of something I've definitely been working on over those last couple of years. So look, I'm pleased it sort of paid off. It would be nice to be paid off with the World Cup, but we'll have to wait for a wee bit longer for that.
One of the other things that we saw was you getting more times with the gloves behind the stump. And if we look at your entire career so far, it's almost equal the number of games you have played as a wicketkeeper as opposed to you've not kept wickets. So do you think you are sort of unlucky in a way to have missed out on games on wicket-keeping slot?
I wouldn't say I've been unlucky. I sort of probably didn't take my opportunities when I was a wee bit younger, and Rachel Priest came in and did a really good job. And Priest and I sort of shared the gloves throughout either one of us was selected throughout the last probably 6 or 7 years. And we're very different players, both technically, you know, we've got different techniques. We bat in the different areas, and even with the gloves, we're quite different as well. So, yeah, I think it's probably just with the selections, I've been fortunate enough that on the odd occasion I can sort of run around and probably throw myself around in the field, maybe not as much as Brendan McCullum, but I do try hard. So yeah, I guess, you know, they've seen the strength in my batting that I can come in and play a role with the bat, and that's probably why, you know, I guess fortunately I've been able to do that. And I think having a couple of facets to your game, whether it's, you know, as a young kid being able to wicket keep as well as field and as well as bat was quite handy. And that's one piece of advice I got given when I was a youngster is I didn't really enjoy keeping that much. I liked more talking, so I think the keeping kind of come with it. But it was, you know, I said there's a good selection to have that you can actually use the glove. So if you're good enough to bat and you can, you know, you can catch a ball all right, then you're seen as a bit more positive as a selection and another opportunity. So yeah, that's probably why I stuck with it. And I love being behind the sticks, and I'm not sure if the batters do so much, but I do a few chirps behind the stumps. But yeah, it's just you're really feeling the game, and I think that, you know, I've been fortunate probably in the last year or so that you know, that I've been able to be the main keeper, and hopefully for another couple of years I can stick with it. Fingers crossed the body holds in there all right, and the mind's still there. So
very fair assessment. One of the news that recently emerged was Super Smash begins on December 24. That's still a long way to go, but do you have any aims or goals as to how you want to go about it this season?
Yeah, I think, you know, we've probably a lesser experienced team this year with not being able to have a couple of the Australians come over who've been brilliant for us. We had Hannah Darlington and Amanda J. Wellington last year, and they were brilliant for the team, and they fit in really well. But I think, you know, we've still got a strong team with Susie Bates, Hayley Jensen, and the side that, you know, hopefully Batesy's shoulder will be fine come that time, and she's back in the team. And look, you know, we've been there and thereabouts, and, you know, we'll be wanting to win that, you know, the Super Smash. And like I said, we've got a great team with some really good, exciting youngsters coming through. So I think it'll be very competitive. I think Wellington, who's got a lot of the White Ferns, will also be quite strong. So we'll probably do a win over Wellington, actually. So that'll be nice to actually beat them, hopefully in the final.
Right then, before we let you go, here's the thing. If you were to have an all-time New Zealand 11, what would that look like?
What format are we playing in? T20?
Yeah, let's go
Anyone.
with T20.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Well, Susie Bates should have to be the captain, and I'm very biased to Batesy, so I'll give her the captain's band, and should definitely be opening. Should be with Rebecca Rolls. I think Rollsy was someone that, she was a wicket keeper, and I was fortunate to come in after her in the New Zealand team, and she was a bit before her time. Emily Drum, well, she's our selector, so I'll have to put her in as well, but she's one of our best players. Rachel Puller, she was a very, very handy player and a great Otago girl. Who else? Amy Mason, Watkins now, she'd be in one of my teams. Lou Milliken is a name that people won't be too familiar with, and she was an outstanding fast bowler until she blew her knee out, so she was very handy. Who else would be in my team? Spinner would be Amy. Rebecca Steele, left arm spinner, she was very handy. Spinner, I'll have to put Mealy Kerr, and I probably won't hear the end of that if I didn't put Meals in. What else? We got all-rounder Hayley Tiffin. She was the best fielder in the world, in my opinion, and I think she was an outstanding player for New Zealand. Really good all-rounder. I forgot. Amy Satterthwaite, she'll be in the team because she would be, if we did play a test match, she'd be the rock through the middle. Sophie Devine, I think she's one of the world's best players, world's best all-rounder in my opinion, which there is a few handy ones. And Sophie's very good with the ball as well. I feel like I've got one more. Who am I missing? Have you got anyone that I should in?
Ooh. You can have yourself in your team.
I'll chuck myself in there at 11, and or I can be at 12. I can carry the drinks, but I'll bring the fizz in the team anyway. That's for sure.
Wonderful. The talking side of yours came to the floor. It was really a pleasure chatting to you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.